When did you first come to San Miguel, and how did you get here?
Well, I came here for a 2-week vacation to study art. I came down, somebody told me something, or no, I came down to Mexico. Somebody told me.
You want to start over? It's a train.
Oh, are you?
I'm recording, yes. So that's the train.
Yes. That's what.
How interesting is that?
I came down in the middle of winter, and I had come out of the Maine woods where it was snow, yay high, and I saw leaves on the trees in the middle of January, and then somebody told me that the place to go was San Miguel, and so I remember going into a restaurant in Mexico City and asking for a tortilla, and the waiter said, couldn't understand that one. Anyway, he did. He bought me a good tortilla. I had no idea what a tortilla was. Well, anyway, so by the end of the day, it was already night by the time I got into here, because I didn't know about how to get a bus. The first bus wasn't going to leave until late in the afternoon. So I got here in the middle of the night. There was a woman on the bus that said there was a room free that she'd just left in the Salto Hotel. So at 10:30 at night, I was banging on these big doors, and I woke the night watchman. I said, I know there's a room. I didn't say it. There was somebody with me who said in Spanish that there's a room here, and he showed me to this little tiny room. It didn't have any windows, but it had a double door, and it had a hand-woven blanket on the bed, and there was hand-painted tiles in the bathroom. I thought I was in heaven. I was just blown away. And I got to sleep finally, and I opened the door in the morning, and there were 5 peacocks sitting in the tree right outside my door. So that was that.
You were in heaven.
I was in San Miguel. That's
What year was this?
This was January 71.
1971. And so you studied.
So I was here for 2 weeks. I just didn't go home. I thought, why go home? At the Salto Hotel, we were living on $5.50 a day. That included 2 meals, as much as you could eat. I can't live like that at home in the States. So I just sort of dawdled on and on and on. Finally, I went back to get my dog, and then came back here. And
You've been here ever
never.
since?
Well, I'd go back in the summer to work, and then I had a 6-month visa, and well, I just knew right away. I made friends right away. Friends that lasted till they died. It was wonderful. And my kind of people, it was much fun. Everybody would go out together, we'd go dancing, we'd go, it was like being an adolescent again, and learning it all over again. It was wonderful. So anyway, that was, what else do you want to know?
So where did you study then?
Well, I studied at the Instituto for 2 weeks.
While you that first trip?
That first trip. Well, that first trip lasted, I think, 3 months. It was only supposed to be 2 weeks, but it lasted. I just never went home, and until I went and got my dog. And who is this? There was a man called, I forget. Anyway, I studied there for a few weeks. And then I went and got language classes there too.
At the Institute?
I insisted I had to speak Spanish, a long time ago.
Well, I see your paintings here on the walls. I don't think I've ever seen them in. Where do you show?
Galleries. Well, they're not many galleries that are easy to get into nowadays. Do you want to give me a show?
In my little gallery.
I don't care how big it is, nobody sees them here, you know.
Well, that's
That's
another
a
story.
story.
But, so you're not showing anywhere now?
Mary and I had a show up, and it was my idea, and it was probably not a smart idea, as a benefit for the Charco del Ingenio. And very few people came.
It's unfortunate.
Just a little bit too far away. People that did come were interested in the plants that grow there, or the children could run around, or something, and very few people saw the paintings.
They used to have a really good, the Pro Niños auction was excellent, and they'd make tons of money.
I know.
But
That's what I had in my mind.
there was a lot of work that went into those things,
Yeah.
those Pro Niño auctions. But, so while you were here, what did you, I mean, you've known a lot of people over the years. You've been here for 40 years.
Well, you know, they're all dead now.
All of them?
Well, they're gone. Either they went back to the States or back to Canada, or they died.
That's true, you know,
So, yes, I knew a lot of people, but it's a very transient society. Well, she's one of the few people that's come back. But,
so who did you hang with in the day?
gosh, there were a whole lot of people. One of the ones that is still here and came much later, came in the 80s, was Françoise Dubois.
Francois?
You must know her. She knows everybody.
The name is so, I'm thinking of Patsy.
Patsy Dubois. Also, well, I didn't know her till much later. In those days, you just knew everybody that was a gringo, because there weren't that many. And we'd all go, and you could go into a restaurant, if there'd be anybody there, you'd say, well, that you could just sit down with them, you know, or have a drink with them. It was great. Then we'd all move on, go to dancing. You remember those days.
Did you, over the years then, I mean, you must have shown your work.
Oh, I've had it. Usually I have a show every couple of years, but not in good galleries, you know. And like I had a couple of them at the Biblioteca. And I did sell a few there. Oh, I had a very good show at the Instituto with two other people, and we all sold a lot.
How long ago was that?
Boy, that was a long time ago. With, I would say about 10 or 12 years ago. With Gill, what's her name? Jerry Gill. She did sculpture and paintings, and she now has, she did have a studio in town, but she was there, and I was there, and somebody else. Anyway, we did very well there. And I would love to have a show there again, because people do go there.
Are you?
I had a feeling after the show up at the Botanical Garden, that maybe, your kind of art is not that different from mine. It's figurative, and I'm not saying that it's at all the same. It's just that maybe people don't want that anymore. They want the sort of stuff that they show over at the Aurora, which is great big pieces that don't really say anything.
Well, and I agree with you, and that's perfectly all right with me. You know, I mean, art goes through trends, but I think you're probably right.
And Mary's, the way Mary saw it was, people have these huge walls in these huge mansions that they're building nowadays, and they can't leave them blank. So they put something that doesn't commit them to anything. It's just a lot of nice colors.
Exactly. And even, you know, with your largest painting, on a huge wall, it looks like a postage stamp.
Yeah.
So, and that's the same, the same.
But the ones I find I sell are the ones that people can take home with them. They can roll up and put in a, you know, tube of some sort and take home. I have done that quite a lot.
So who was your favorite teacher? Or did you just not study after those first 3 months?
I think it's all but impossible to teach art.
Who's your favorite inspiration?
You mean already painted? Oh, well, I love Van Gogh.
I meant as here in San
Oh,
Diego.
here in San Miguel. Not many people. I kind of like, what's his name, that's over in the galleries, over in the, I will recognize his
Peter
name.
Leventhal?
Yeah, I kind of like his work.
Figurative, very figurative, yeah.
Yeah, I like figurative.
Well, so
And what about like Keith Keller? Just kidding.
It doesn't move me.
Yeah.
I think Leventhal at least has got a lot of energy to say something, you know. I mean,
the horses is a great
that
painting.
was done shortly after I got here. I used to be an illustrator. I used to illustrate children's books. And I think of myself basically as an illustrator.
You've enjoyed your stay in San Miguel, obviously.
Well, I can't live anywhere else.
And you were born where?
Germany. Came over as a child, a baby, and came to the United States. Lived in Vermont a long time, in Boston a lot. Studied in Boston, studied painting, not painting, but drawing in Boston for a long time. And in that area, and then came here. And when my children were grown up, or old enough so they weren't in the house anymore, I thought it was a great time to sell a house and take a vacation, and I came here. That's it.
Well, forgive me for asking, but how old are you?
87.
My God, you wear it well. You wear it really well.
Don't get too close. You see.
87. Because we arrived in San Miguel about the same time.
I think so. I remember you driving around with a great big leaf on your car that you got down in the south. One of those elephant ears.
Oh no, that was Tom Frazee. He's one of my good friends.
No, it was you.
The elephant.
And there was a skull maybe also, or a turtle or something. You had some things on your car that...
Well, it's funny how I started writing recently because I went to a party and somebody told a story about me, and I'm going, that's not true at all. And I walked up to him and I said, who told you that story? And he said, you did. And I said, well, I didn't tell that story. I mean, so I decided I better start writing these stories down so that I can't. So
well, I'll write them. Well, the thing is, everybody interprets whatever information comes to them in their own way.
Exactly. I'm sure you've heard stories about yourself too that didn't coincide with your memory.
Oh, it happens all the time. Did that really happen? You know.
Yeah, right.
My kids especially, they tell stories about their childhood that I can't remember.
How many kids do you
I
have?
have 3 children.
3.
Yeah, they're all grown up now.
And they were on their own by the time you got
They
here
were
in
all either
71?
in school or on their own. They were all, yeah.
And so you were
I just
divorced?
came down for 2 weeks, mind you.
You were divorced?
Yes. I was already divorced. I was bringing the kids up on my own, and we had this house outside of Boston, and well, they were all gone. You know, they'd all gone, and so we sold the house, and I came down here for 2 weeks, and I'm still here.
Yeah, great.